Keir Starmer's allies have accused West Streeting of plotting to oust him from office, warning that any attempt to do so would trigger a market shock, as supporters of Streeting want to go to war with Number 10. The extraordinary developments in a series of furious briefings to media outlets tonight signal Downing Street's increasingly concerned the PM may face a leadership challenge. Cabinet unity has fractured, possibly to the point of no return between Starmer and Streeting. Wow! I can't believe the McShitter might be launching a leadership challenge very recently after he changed his mind on a bunch of issues, including Israel and the welfare state and the level of racism in this country. Wow, what a shock that he might be trying to appeal to the Labour Party's membership base rather than the broader electorate just before launching a leadership challenge. Incredible scenes. What is funny, however, is that there'll probably be a Wes Streeting coup to try and get rid of Keir Starmer. And then what will happen is that somebody from the soft left will run against both Streeting and Starmer, and the sensibles vote will get split between Streeting and Starmer, and you'll be able to have somebody from the soft left come up through the middle, which would be very funny. Spokesperson for Streeting said, "These claims are categorically untrue. Wes's focus has entirely been on cutting waiting lists for the first time in 15 years, recruiting 2,500 more GPs and rebuilding the NHS that saved his life." Yeah, we totally believe you, Leslie. We totally believe you, McShitter. Absolutely. These rehearsed lines you've been given by Morgan McSweeney are your true calling and not your desire to get in the big chair trademark. I've never had Bovril. A government source said Number 10 has gone into full bunker mode, turning on their most loyal cabinet members for absolutely no reason. Unfortunately, there is a pattern of Keir's team briefing against his own people. They did it to Angela, Lisa, Lucy, and now it's Wes's turn. A circular firing squad won't help the government out of the hole we're in. It's almost like, right, it's almost chat. Come here. A little bit closer. Right, chat. It's almost like that the people at the top of the Labour Party have never actually been concerned with what's good for the country, or what's good even necessarily for the party, for the Labour movement more broadly. Turns out, the only thing they knew was how to infight against the left. They spent all of their time in opposition infighting against the left, briefing against the left, doing factional purges of the left. And now there is no left in the Labour Party anymore. There is only a soft left, and they're turning on them as well. Because they don't actually have any idea how to govern. It's why that's all been subcontracted out to quangos and to reviews from Baroness Casey or whatever, so that they can let the consultants do the actual governance whilst they infight, because it's all they know how to do. And the firing squad, whilst previously have been outwards, has now been turned resolutely inwards amongst themselves, because these are deeply unserious, deeply cynical, and deeply disturbed individuals, as Owen Jones would describe as being dead behind the eyes. Wow, what a turnout for the books. It turns out, right, the sensible adults in the room were neither of those things, neither sensible or adult, because ironically, they call us student politics. They call the left as if we engage in student politics by having a set of beliefs that we want to enact into policy, when in reality, what student politics really is about infighting and bitching and power for the sake of power, which is everything that you could describe these people at the top of the Labour Party. Oh God, it feels so good to be right. It feels so good to be right, because we all called this. Like, we all called this before the election. We all knew this was going to happen. It was so obvious it was going to happen. And now there's trouble in paradise. Oh, so funny. Amazing how when you employ a bunch of wreckers, all they know how to do is wreck. So true, so true. All they cared about, all Keir Starmer cared about, was getting his seat firmly planted in the big chair, quote unquote, just like Boris Johnson before him. And then instead of actually being good at governing, they lash out at people expecting them to do so when they get caught up in scandals and in levels of poor governance. It's crazy. Like, the Starmer-Johnson comparison is just 1-to-1 at this point. Although at least Keir Starmer didn't do a minimum service levels bill, so we've got that. Well, a supporter of Starmer says tonight that they conducted a recent exercise with investors where they were told that any alternative to Starmer and Rachel Reeves would result in a significant rise in gilt yields, meaning higher government borrowing costs. That would be ruinous for the public finances and plunge the UK into an economic crisis, the person added, a clear indication that Number 10 is seriously concerned about a leadership plot. Bollocks. Pure, unmitigated bollocks and cope. Essentially saying to the Labour Party membership that you can't upend our technocratic neoliberal doctrine Because if you do, you'll destroy the country and it'll no longer be party over country. As far as the Labour Party are concerned, we've gotten rid of party over country, even though that's what Keir Starmer's leadership has been from the start. Their position now is, well, we have the markets on side. We are the adults in the room as far as the bondholders are concerned. And therefore, if you upend us, then you upend the country. We have ultimate power. Just perfect. And again, everything that we predicted would happen months before the election. Because there's two funny things about this. Is that, first of all, Starmer and Reeves just don't realise that they're totally fucked already. They don't realise that they're totally fucked already. They're not going to survive a set of local elections that will wipe Labour out of so many councils, to Reform in the north and to the Green Party in the cities and the Lib Dems in rural areas, right? Like, there are so many places where Labour are going to get kicked out of local government. And of course, they're going to get even further battered in the Senedd and Holyrood. There's going to be no inch of the United Kingdom that Labour won't be expelled from come May's local elections. So Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves are toast. The question is when, if not, whether or not they stay in post. They are dead people walking, and it's just about how much damage they can do before now. The second thing that's funny of this too, is that their fortunes will not be solved by a replacement of Keir Starmer with Wes Streeting. Their problems will only be made worse by putting McShitter in charge because everyone fucking hates him. All the people who they are trying to win over, that they've lost already, either don't like Wes Streeting because he's yet another London Labour figure, if you're a Reform voter or like a non-voter that's moved to Reform, and all the lefties that they've lost over their authoritarian policy or the socially regressive policy, will never come back to Labour under Streeting because he's literally the architect of a bunch of the shit that they've done that's socially regressive, especially around like trans people, for example, who's been bought into a bunch of the anti-migrant sentiment. Like, Wes Streeting takeover from Keir Starmer will only make things worse. But they think that it's all a communication problem, and that because Wes Streeting is a better communicator than Keir Starmer because, you know, he has a pulse that Keir Starmer doesn't seem to have, and that will be enough to win people back because he's good at communication and a little bit more erudite than Keir Starmer is, when the reality is it's about the policy. It's about the trust that they've lost with the electorate, and they will never win that back, regardless of whether or not Streeting is in charge. I think that the only way they can ever really win trust back is by actually just completely gutting the top of the party. Metaphorically, of course. Having a total reset with a total new leadership team. Everyone who's currently part of the Politburo Labour Together framework, they all have their hands dirty with what's gone on in the administration so far. So Wes Streeting replacing Starmer after a set of terrible local elections will only make things worse. Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for membership to just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.